William received urgent news. Lonely Harry's private hell, trapped by Meghan, with his friends over 5,000 miles away and his family feud still raging on. Sources say Prince Harry is feeling isolated and alone in the U.S. Harry and his wife, Meghan Markle, didn't attend the 73rd Annual Emmy Awards on September 19th, but they did get a backfire during the show when host Cedric the Entertainer roasted the couple during his opening monologue. Just like a fictional movie, Interview with Oprah is no less fascinating, said the comedian, referencing recent royal drama before addressing Harry's controversial decision to leave the firm in early 2020. Being the butt of jokes may not have been what Harry was envisioning when he and Meghan moved to the U.S., but sources say there have been plenty of surprises for the former royal as he adjusts to his new normal. Harry lives a pretty solitary life these days, and one insider tells us, while the dad of two, he shares Archie and Lily with Meghan, occasionally socializes with some of his new celeb pals, like Orlando Bloom and James Corden. The insider says he spends most of his time alone, riding his bike around Montecito, California, the neighborhood, riding or hiking. Harry says he loves being able to move around unrecognized, says the insider, but some of his old friends find that hard to believe. It's like he's in hiding. It's very out of character for him. Back in England, Harry was often the life of the party. He was very social, says a second source, noting that he loved doing normal things like hanging out with friends at a local pub. Now, he and Meghan rarely leave the house and mostly stick close to home with Archie and Lily. Harry doesn't have any real friends in the U.S., says the source. He definitely goes through bouts of loneliness. A neighbor tells the Us Weekly, "I've only ever seen cars drive in and out. I've never seen Harry. They're an immensely private couple. He was also quite close with his family before Meghan came into the picture." Harry never once complained that he was unhappy being a royal, reveals the source. There were small things that irritated him, like the feeling that he was living in Prince William's shadow, but he never made a big deal out of it. It was Meghan who convinced him that there were other options out there. Currently, his relationship with his grandmother, Queen Elizabeth II, is on shaky ground. Harry adores his grandmother and speaks to her often as he can, says the insider. But as much as she welcomes his calls and messages, she does find it hard to forgive and forget all the damage that's been done. Harry and Meghan famously caused an uproar in March when they claimed a member of the monarchy had made remarks about Archie prior to his birth. Adds the insider, the fallout from that is still a bitter pill to swallow. Meanwhile, Harry and his older brother William are barely speaking. It's going to take a lot to get the two of them back together. Royal expert Nick Bullen tells Us magazine that, adding that William and his wife, Kate, the Duchess of Cambridge, have been focused on their 3 kids and supporting the Queen. I don't think they're spending a lot of time thinking about the Harry and Meghan situation, says Bullen. The insider notes that the distance is just fine by Harry. He loves his family, but doesn't want to expose Meghan or the kids to any negativity. So if that means staying away from England for the foreseeable future, so be it. Some people close to Harry are worried he's given Meghan too much control. It's one thing to be madly in love, but the feeling among the Cambridges and Harry's dad, Prince Charles, is that he's turned into Meghan's personal puppet. And it says that the insider is like he's trapped in her world and he can't see beyond it anymore. There must be concerns that he'll have major regrets about sacrificing so much, including his fortune. The royal family is reportedly worth $88 billion, only to end up in a lonely private hell. Notes the source, the honeymoon period doesn't last forever. Still, others insist Harry won't be looking back. He's raking in $20 million for his upcoming memoir and is excited about what the future holds, says the insider. He has a ton of exciting projects on the horizon in America and globally, and is dedicated to being the best husband and father he can be. He and Meghan are going to grow old together, adds the insider. They have each other's backs no matter what. And the question is, why is there virtually no sympathy for Meghan and Harry? Yesterday, they visited a school in Harlem where 94% of the children are in need of free school meals, and many of whom live in shelters and temporary housing. Meghan's clothes cost around $7,500, and she wore jewelry worth $387,000. They and their entourage traveled in a number of expensive cars from their Manhattan hotel, where rooms can cost up to $8,800 a night. The purpose of the visit was for Meghan to read to the children from her dreadful book. People who are really concerned about the poverty of others don't inflict such insensitive charades upon others. People who are concerned about the environment don't jet around the planet on unnecessary trips, polluting the atmosphere. People who are concerned about empathy, relationships, and mental health don't trash their birth families and complain to the world about them without lifting a finger to heal breaches and salve wounds. They're embarrassing fakes. What's there to feel sympathetic about? Everything they do seems off-key, like publicity stunts. They could have brought a truck full of assorted books for the school library and still worked in a tiny pitch for Meghan's book. It really is bad, and I'm a professional published writer, so I am truly qualified to comment. But no, they staged a publicity event for Meghan's book. No actual benefit for the school children at all. Meghan Markle's book was entirely wrong for the age group shown, and because they're polite children, they didn't show how terribly bored they must have been. It was so clearly a photo op. They keep getting in their own way, acting contrary to their own stated interests. It's all such obvious, blatant hypocrisy. They could really do some good, but they aren't. Their trip to New York was not to show their compassion. They hadn't produced anything yet for Netflix. Their trip was to film for Netflix so the Markles could get paid some money. They're running out of funds. Who even wants to watch their Netflix bits? Why the hell are there people still putting up with her charades of being compassionate and caring for the less fortunate when she indulges herself in inexpensive clothing and pieces of jewelry? By donating one of her expensive pieces of jewelry, I'm sure she can feed an entire community for a week. But no, she's the Duchess of Sussex. She must be seen as royalty, draped in expensive items to show the little people how grand their Queen of the USA is. Your narrative holds cognitive dissonance. Always size them up by deeds. Words are so easy. Your narrative did so once you became descriptive on Megsy's outfit. Good call. The outfit didn't even match the event. The event implied some sort of humility. Nah, let Megsy sparkle. Let us all take for the future's sake. Narcissism is a riddle. Awareness is the antidote. I hope if she does that in her little video on Men's Health magazine, which is still on YouTube, it can be included in her portfolio. Apparently, she's trying to get rid of all her videos, but that one is still there up until yesterday. She's claiming equality for women. She's pouting that she's a feminist. She's allowed into schools next to other people's children and is welcome to the World Trade Center, which was closed to people's families so they could have a private tour. A tour where thousands of people were obliterated and they use it as a PR stunt. This is who Harry chose as his wife, and this is who has been inflicted onto all of us. Need I say more? This was all for show. The Netflix camera crew was there filming everything. The Harkles needed to produce something, anything, to keep their Netflix contract. True, benevolent people don't make a big show of it. The New York trip was all for show. And you? Do you agree with these views? If yes, don't be afraid to like and share it with anyone who needs it anytime you want. If not, leave your views below in the comment section and we'll also talk about them. Besides that, don't forget to click the subscribe